Hey everybody, quick video. I wanted to let you know, I think I went in, I solved the problem with regard to Safe Assign. So I know I went in and I changed the Ron Clark one and I believe your resume one. So if you want to try those, that would be great. I'll also go in and check to see why the one isn't allowing you to submit the instructional matrix and all of that, anything like that. So if you've just recently emailed me a couple of those things, if you would like to try to use Safe Assign, that would be awesome. And then I have them all in Blackboard. If it doesn't work, emailing them is completely fine as indicated. So it's ejjones@mail.fhsu.edu if you would use that account. For some reason, if Safe Assign isn't working, but I think I've gotten it fixed. So if you will go in and try to submit some assignments, I know some of you are working on Ron Clark and some of you are working on your resume. So try to submit those in that very last module. Also, as you work through these last few chapters, they are all taking in those behavioral and cognitive perspectives that you've kind of studied over this the course of this summer, and it's putting it all together in your classroom. There's a lot of stuff on classroom management. There's a lot of information on kind of setting up your classroom, and that was one of the things that I was going to try to drive home. When I started student teaching many years ago, I had 2 cooperating teachers, and I actually showed up the day the teacher showed up, and I stayed until the days the teachers left. And it was a really valuable tool because it prepared me to get my classroom ready. So I was organized for when the students came, and I didn't have to stress about the daily management of setting up my grade book and doing a host of other things. And so even if the school doesn't require you to be in there from day one, and they only require you to be there at a certain date, if it's okay for that with your university supervisor and your cooperating teacher, try to go those very first few days. The minute they show up, whatever in-services they go to, whatever they're doing to set up their classroom, those are the little things that you aren't really taught, that are more tacit things people assume that you know, and those are the things that are very valuable. So try to go as long as you can also into the end of the semester, even if it means you have to go back after you're done student teaching, and let them show you how they kind of wrap up and prepare for either a winter break or they're preparing for summer break. So those are really valuable tools. The other little quick snippet that I wanted to tell you is when you are starting to make up your classroom rules, procedures, Harry Wong in The First Days of School is one of the best books I've ever used. I used it in my classroom. Within the first few weeks of school, my class was actually running itself with those routines that just became procedures every day that you drive home, and your classroom does start managing itself in some small way. Of course, you have to account for those crazy times when there's a school assembly, or the weather's changing, or there's a person mowing outside of your classroom, whatever happens that throws your students off. But I would definitely recommend Harry Wong, The First Days of School. I absolutely love that book, and I followed it to a T, and it worked great for me. Lastly, when you are setting up classroom rules, procedures, I like to call them expectations, not so much rules, is that you need to realize that by the time your students are even in 1st and 2nd grade, they realize socially what's acceptable, and they could probably say, if you asked what is a list of classroom rules, I think that most 1st and 2nd graders can tell you what would be acceptable in a classroom and what wouldn't, because they've seen them so much either in a preschool or kindergarten setting, 1st grade setting. And so I think you're safe in letting your students take the rule of being a team member along with you and helping you to establish what are the expectations for our classroom. Remember, the lower the grades, the less you need. And then what are the consequences? What do we do? What's a positive thing that we're going to do? And what's a negative thing that may come across that the students would choose. That would be up to them to try to make these choices and decisions. And then when they choose not to follow the expectations, then they're the ones who made the outcome as such, whether it's a positive or negative outcome. And then you need to come up with what you would consider to be a whole class reward system and what you would consider to be an individual reward system. So I know a lot of you have worked on that with regard to your classroom management assignment, and I appreciate that. I'm seeing those roll in too. So, and then lastly, the last chapter that you're going to look at talks about different types of instruction, and I think those are very, very nice because I try to hone in personally on the stuff that I don't use a lot and then try to integrate that into my classroom. So if it's comfortable for me, sometimes it means I'm maybe not doing my best job, and you have to extend yourself, and sometimes you just have to get out there, try something new, and absolutely fail and tell the students, you know what, this did not work at all and we need to start over and we're going to try a new method. But admitting your failures and trying something new are some of the best things that you can do personally as a teacher or a professional. But lastly, to your students, to show them that you're willing to try something new, and if it works, great, and if it doesn't, then we'll start over and find the best process that works for our classroom, for each student, and for the teacher. So anyway, I just want to make you a quick video. Go in and try some of those safe assigns, and see if you can do submissions in Blackboard if you were just recently emailing me some assignments within the last couple of days. And you have a good rest of the week. Try to stay cool. If you are in Kansas, you know how hot it is. Yesterday was 104 in Hays, and I'm not sure about today. I'm sure it's not going to be pleasant. But anyway, have a great week. And if I have any previous videos that I've made with regard to these chapters, I'll definitely upload those to Blackboard as well. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.